Beloved brothers and sisters, of course, it's always good to have some good story at the beginning with preferably some amount of humor. And once again, probably I would surprise you saying we have a story like that, and hopefully you will like it. And it's a story about neighbors, two good neighbors. Actually, we can say the two gentlemen, they were not in some really warm and friendly relations, but rather correct relations as neighbors. And also it's good to mention that the whole neighborhood wasn't quite great, strange people, nobody knew each other, so situation like that. Of course, we are not talking about Melville area, neighborhood, we're talking about some area far, far away from us. So the two neighbors was another link between them because they love animals. One of them a shepherd dog, nice dog, and one little rabbit. It's better to have the rabbit, right? Especially in time of crisis, because when there's shortage over and over, so rabbit is, let's say, always some proposition for dinner, but dog, not really. But anyway, one day, one of the gentlemen, owner of the dog, looking through the window, he noticed that his pet, his dog, is playing with something what looks like a rabbit. And when shepherd dog is playing with the rabbit, so as you know, nothing good will come of it, right? So he was deeply terrified, saying, now, when the rabbit is dead, what am I supposed to tell my neighbor? And relations between us definitely will cool off. What to do? What to do now? And he went with plan B. So he grabbed the rabbit and washed him up and put him back to the cage where the rabbit was, sneaking at the neighbor's yard. And then he was thinking, definitely neighbor will say, maybe rabbit died of heart attack, or COVID-19, or some other disaster touched him, or something like that. So I'll be fine. And next day, neighbor is at his yard and said, you know, I have to warn you. I have to warn you. I have to tell you that here indeed in our neighborhood some strange people are living, some nuts. And as example for that, you can believe or not, but my rabbit died 5 days ago. I buried him in the garden, and someone dug him up, washed him up, and put him back to the cage. Can you imagine what sick people we have here? You have to lock the door of your house all the time. What kind of comment we can make here at this point? Looking at today's gospel, Jesus is telling us nothing is covered up that will not be uncovered. But the context of this message is fear no one. Fear no one. We're talking about the fear. And brothers and sisters, Jesus is telling us how we can be happy people. And many, many times fear comes from the fact or is connected with some action when we are trying to hide everything. We are hiding everything. We are not showing our emotions, protecting our privacy. Of course, we have the right to do it, but we are hiding and trying to look and so on, so on. Fear no one. Everything will be revealed because the God is the one who knows everything about you. And fear and hiding comes together. And again, as example, great example, we're looking at the book of Genesis. And after the sin, God is calling Adam, saying, where are you? And what Adam said, I'm afraid. So that's why I'm hiding, because I'm afraid. Hiding and fear goes together. How much energy we are losing to hide, to look better. How much energy. And that knowledge is still open for God. Going further in this great message which we have in today's Gospel, Jesus is telling us, what I say to you in the dark, tell in the light. And of course we are meditating this expression. When I'm telling to you in the dark, what kind of dark? And the darkness is the situation when we indeed are going through the valley of darkness, when everything is falling apart in my life, when, as responsorial psalm is telling us, that we cannot find understanding even among my family. So I'm a stranger, an alien to my father's, mother's children. So that's the situation, difficult situation, where many times we are asking, good Lord, where are you? Where are you? Where is your power? Where's your protection? Where's your help? And Jesus is telling us, I'm so close with you. And that time of darkness, I'm just whispering the words into your ear. So you have to listen. In that situation, mostly we're looking around and we see nobody, but it's hard for us to open our ears and receive the God's message, Jesus' message, and also feel His closeness. Another thing, what we have in today's Gospel is the warning, just telling us, do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, fear Him who can destroy both soul and body. And here we are starting our meditation. Who is that? What is it? Who is that guy? Who is able to kill the body and soul and put it into hell? And of course, we can say maybe God Himself. But God, as our Creator, is not His will. It's not His will to destroy what He had created. Maybe Satan, definitely the Satan is the one, so as we said many times, is accusing us and is giving us only, showing us the truth about ourselves, but that negative truth about ourselves. So who is the one who can really destroy us completely, body and soul? And brothers and sisters, it might sound strange, but don't you think that I am the greatest enemy to myself? That we are the biggest enemies to ourselves. And indeed there is power, my power, that I can destroy myself. The Satan, yes, of course, he is working that way. But definitely we can say, stay away from me, and we can fight against evil many, many times using that spiritual help and ask Him constantly, save us from evil, from difficult times. But if I'm saying, yes, I can destroy myself, my body and soul, so there's no help, nowhere. And being free people, God is respecting my free will. Sometimes we have to be afraid of ourselves. Also, today's Gospel is giving us peace and consolation, and is telling us how God is good for us. And Jesus is showing us perfectly the knowledge which God has about us. And this is quite understandable and quite clear for us. The one who created us definitely knows everything about me. And we should not be afraid of that knowledge. And also today's Gospel is telling us even hair on your head are counted. So did you ever try to count the hair? In my case, it's not a big deal. In some cases, you're looking, it's not a big deal, but still we'll struggle a little bit. But that expression tells us that indeed God has perfect knowledge about me. And what kind of knowledge? Of course, KGB and FBI are collecting information about the people, but from different points. But if we are collecting information about someone, of course, I can collect some gossips, and then, just spread it around. But if I love someone, so I would like to know everything about him, what he likes, what he doesn't, and so on, so on. So that collecting information is also the sign how much God loves me, and And in this expression, even hair on your head are counted. That's the full knowledge which God has about me, and that knowledge symbolizes nothing else, just love. Finally, at the end, we have some warning when Jesus is telling us that everyone who acknowledges me before humans, I'll acknowledge him before my Father in heaven. So that's serious stuff, right? Acknowledge, deny, so on. And here we are saying, no, it's not our part, because there's no absolutely my intention. There's not absolutely my movement and my wish and will to deny Jesus. I have to acknowledge him all the time, and there's many proofs for that. But my sisters, we can approach this expression from different sides, and we can ask ourselves in our life, who is the first source of information, and who is the one who is guiding me which way? It's God and His teaching and gospel, or the people. And here we can see where we are, because many times, yes, we are faithful Jesus followers, but in our life we have a different direction, and we're saying it's good, yes, of course, yes, I accept everything, acknowledging church teaching, but the common style, the world style, is completely different. So, I will go that way, So 6 days I'm that way, and 1 day I'm here. And then, I guess, we can look at ourselves through this perspective. Acknowledges me before the humans, I acknowledge him for my Father. And opposite, denies before humans, I will deny in front of my Father in heaven. I guess everyone will have to make some examination of conscience where we are in this situation, and who is my leader, and who is my guide. Once again, Gospel is telling us, fear no one. You are in God's hands, and the full knowledge is revealed. It's in God's heart, and He's the one who loves me. There's no point to be afraid.